Hello again, and welcome back. This is Drew with Mana Flare Gaming. No Grant again today. He is in school, but he would have no idea about these cards anyways. He's only 9. And we're going to go back all the way to Unlimited with some of these cards. I know I watch a lot of these YouTube videos, and there's a lot of YouTube content out there about finance. There's a lot of content about lore, and it's all great content. It's all really cool stuff. But one thing that I see out that I don't see out there is going to be from a collector's point of view, and that's where I come in. I kind of like to collect this stuff, look at some of the older cards, and figure out which is which, and fill out a set. So, also when you value things to put on eBay, you're going to need to know what set your card is from. So, in order to do that, we need to figure out some of these older cards didn't have a real good way to discern them from each other. And I haven't really seen a video out there kind of showing, hey, this old card is different from this old card because of this. So that's what we're going to get into today. If you notice on the screen there, we've got a air elemental. Bottom line there, you can see that the card itself. Let me get my Rudy's tool here. This is not going to be Rudy's tool. This is going to be Drew's tool. And I actually use this for working instead of pointing. But anyways, the card itself has a nice rich color to it. The other thing you're going to see is the artist line here is going to be centered in between this line and this line. Whereas when you look at revised, it's faded. It's very washed out. And the artist line is all the way towards the bottom here. So that's going to give me the clue right there. Even if there were so many variations with revised, some of these, the coloration is so close to an unlimited that you can't tell the difference. So the only way I've found to tell 100% reliably is to look at the artist line here and here. This is going to tell me, hey, this is an unlimited because there's an equal gap between the top and the bottom. And this is revised simply because it's centered all the way on the bottom here. Next, we're going to jump into 4th edition. One thing I failed to mention is revised was 306 cards. When we jump up to 4th edition, there are 378 cards in this set. So it's a big set. This is the biggest set of its kind in this day. So first, when we look at these, this has a bluer color to it. It's definitely a darker blue to it. It doesn't look as rich as an unlimited. I don't know how to explain that, but it just looks like a fuller, better blue color on the unlimited. And then when we get into 4th edition, it looks more crisp, not as rich. But you'll notice the artwork is the same across all 3 pieces, but we've got on the bottom a copyright line. The copyright line says 1995 Wizards of the Coast Incorporated. I'll bring that up there. This is the 4th edition is the hardest to see in blue because that little purple mark is right over 1995, and it makes it really hard to see with the black ink there. But 1995 Wizards of the Coast. This is going to tell me, hey, this is a 4th edition card. Now, moving on, we're going to go to Chronicles. I'm doing this in chronological order, just so you guys know. Chronicles is very easy to tell the difference because we've got the set logo right here, and it's white border. Whereas the Legends version, it's got the logo obviously, but it's black bordered. On the bottom too, we've got the 1995 Wizards of the Coast logo again. So this is going to tell me this is a Chronicles card versus an Anthologies card or some other card that uses the set logo. Now, mind you, I played back then, so I can tell you pretty much a Chronicles card when I look at it. So next up, we've got 5th edition. Now, you'll notice with 5th edition, they changed a lot of the artwork, but they didn't change it all. So the easiest way for me to look at a card and say this is 5th edition, once again, we're going to go down here and it's going to say 1997 Wizards of the Coast. And in 5th edition, they changed the ink from black to white, so it's easier to read there. See how it says 1997 Wizards of the Coast? That's going to be your telltale sign that this is a 5th edition. Like I said, I'd say 90% of the artwork was changed, but you're going to run into some that are the same artwork as 4th edition. Easiest way to tell is just look down there at the copyright line. Next, we've got kind of a cool set. This is Anthologies. This is kind of a reprint set, very similar to Chronicles, where you've got the set logo, and then you've got the 93 to 98 text line down here. You'll see on the original Homelands version, black border obviously. It looks a little different in here. You've got your spacings a little different. However, you've got the logo here. The bad part about Anthologies is Anthologies reprinted some cards from your core sets. The core sets don't have set symbols. So once again, in order to figure out which card is which, we're going to go straight to the copyright line. So just looking at these cards, can anybody tell me which one's a 4th edition and which one's Anthologies? Easy, right? We've got your 1995 Wizards of the Coast logo right there. We've got your 1993 to 1998 Wizards of the Coast Incorporated right there. Same art, same everything. Now we do have a little bit of the text box difference once again, but that's not going to be reliable because you don't have text on all the cards. So easiest way to tell, you just go down here, 93 to 98. That's going to be your Anthologies card. Now there is one other card from Anthologies that I wanted to go over. This is a carnivorous plant. I don't think anyone has ever played with a carnivorous plant in their deck in their entire life. Now, if you'll see, they use the Legends logo there. But if you're old like me, you know that Legends did not have carnivorous plant in it. So if we go back to the dark, we're going to see, hey, there you go. This wasn't printed in Legends, it was printed in the dark. So that was an error on their part, putting the Legends logo on there. I thought that was pretty cool. It's the only one I've really found with a set symbol error on it like that. There may be more, but I don't know about them. Next up, this is going to be your easiest one. 6th edition. This is the first year they added the set logo with the coloration in it to tell you if it's a common, uncommon, or rare. I'm sorry, this is the first core set. The first set, I believe, was Exodus to color code the set symbol on there. But this is your first core set to have your logo and all of that stuff. You'll also notice 6th edition, they changed the artwork again. They started doing this quite frequently where they changed the artwork. On the bottom here, you're going to see 93 to 99, and the text is centered left to right on here. So that will come into play when we look at some of the other stuff here. Next up, we've got your Portal 3 Kingdoms. This is very easy to tell the difference. Now, Portal 3 Kingdoms, once again, just like 6th edition, has its own logo, and it's color-coded. This is an uncommon from Portal 3 Kingdoms. It's got that little, looks like a pile of poop. But the one thing that they did with this is they did increase the text size, and they gave a little attack and defense logo down here, kind of for your newer players. So that's Portal 3 Kingdoms. Not much to talk about there. Next, once again, nice easy set. We've got Starter 1999. This used your 6th edition artwork, and instead of a 6th edition logo, they put a star for all of the sets right there. So easy, easy, easy. Now, this is where it gets kind of difficult and kind of weird. They made a bunch of white bordered sets from here on out, and it was, none of them were major sets other than your core sets. So chronologically, next we've got our Battle Royale box set. The Battle Royale box set was 136 cards, if I'm not mistaken, with the centered copyright line, just like 6th edition. But it doesn't have a logo up here. So 93 to 99 is the date on the bottom here. Very, very similar to 6th edition, even with art, and some of the text wraps a little bit differently. But most reliable is to just look and, you don't have a logo, but it's centered here. And it says 93 to 99, you've got a Battle Royale box set card. I am going to go over, at the end, I'm going to go over one set of cards that's very similar to this, the Multiverse box set, with the different text wrappings and things like that to know what you've got. And I know that's not a whiteboarded card, but I thought it was cool, and I thought it was a good addition to this video. So next up, we have Starter 2000. Now, for some reason, 1999, they put a star on there. 2000, they took the logo away completely. Don't know why. But your starter stuff, it's going to be labeled 1993 to 2000 Wizards of the Coast Incorporated, centered left to right, just like the Battle Royale box set was. So it's not terribly difficult to tell the difference. This was only 20 cards too, so it's pretty straightforward. They're all going to be your basic, starter type cards. Next, we've got the Beatdown box set. Beatdown box set went back to the logo, color-coded logo. Same artwork as 6th edition, little color-coded mace there. Really easy to discern this one. In this set, there was actually one really cool card that's different from every other printing. We have a Fireball, and please forgive me for the condition of this Fireball. It is absolutely hammered, but it came in a collection, and I thought it was cool, so I kept it. Fireball was not printed in 6th edition, so they used the 4th edition art, and it's got the Beatdown logo there. But one thing you'll notice, this 4th edition, our casting cost is red and X. They tried to simplify it, but made it incredibly more difficult to understand by making it red YX. And if you read on the 4th edition, it says Fireball deals X damage divided evenly, round down, among any number of target creatures and or players. Pay an additional 1 for each target beyond the first. So basically, if I pump 7 into here, so I've got red and I've got X equals 7, I can either do 7 damage to a creature, 7 damage to a player, or you divide it in half, pay the extra. So 7 would be 3 damage to a creature and 3 damage to a player, with 1 being the cost to divide it. Now, when you go over here, it doesn't make as much sense because it says Fireball deals X damage divided evenly, rounded down, among Y plus 1 target creatures and or players. So, unless you're a math teacher, that's a pretty big formula for for a simple guy like me. So I just thought that was pretty cool from the Beatdown box set. That's the only time that's ever been changed like that. Every other edition of Fireball looks exactly like that. So next up, another easy one. We've got a 7th edition Air Elemental. Change the artwork again. Flying. The 7, Silver 7, shows me that it's 7th edition. Now, in 7th edition, they did have a starter set, but it was all of the cards in the starter set were from the core set. So anything you got from there looked identical to the core set 7th edition cards. So pretty easy. Next up, we have a Deckmasters 2001 Garfield versus Finkel. There are 56 unique cards. And they use this capital D right here as the set symbol. But these were just straightforward decks. This is to say, hey, Garfield and Finkel were both professional Magic players back then. And they were at the top of their class. So what they did was they said, okay, this one's Garfield's deck and this one's Finkel's deck. Now you can play like these two guys, battle it head to head. So it was a pretty cool little set. There wasn't a whole lot of value in there, but pretty easy to recognize with the white borders and the little D for the set symbol there. Next up, 8th edition. 8th edition, pretty straightforward. Same thing with the 8 logo here. But we do have in the starter set, they look almost identical, but the numbers are going to be different. In 8th edition, there were 2 decks, and there only 7 of the cards were numbered, were not in the original core set. So those 7 cards are going to be labeled S 1 through 7 out of 7 here. So I'll pull that up and I'll let you look here. But it says, where am I at? S5 out of 7. So that tells me that this was the starter set, 5 of 7. So, and this is one cool card. You know, Vizardrix is a terrible card, but they always had great artwork, and you know, it's creepy. It's a rabbit. I don't know what it's called, rabbit elemental or something like that. It's creepy looking. Now they did the same thing with 9th edition. Only in 9th edition, there were the 2 decks. The cards were numbered S1 through S10, but there was no 6. So there were only 9 cards. I'm sorry, there were only 10 cards, 1 through 10, but number 6 was not labeled. There was no number 6. This one is number 7, as you can see here. Same thing with the Vizardrix. S7 through 10 out of 10. There you go. And that is it for my whiteboarded cards. The last one I wanted to look through was the Visions versus the Multiverse box set. Now, in the Multiverse box set, it contained a French Homelands booster, an Italian Alliances booster, a German Renaissance booster, a Japanese Chronicles booster, and 2 English Visions boosters. I don't know how many of these were printed, but there are 10 cards that are different from the original printing of Visions. These are probably the hardest you're going to be able, you know, these are the hardest ones to figure out, because when you just look at this off the cuff here, you're not going to know which one is a Multiverse and which one's an actual Visions card, other than the penny sleeve. I think you guys may have figured that out by now. But some of these cards, if you look, this one in particular, the copyright line is longer on the Multiverse card than it is on the Visions card. I don't know how or why they did that, but it just ended up a little bit differently. That tells me that this one right here is your Multiverse box set card, and this one right here is your standard Visions card. Have a couple more examples. This one is the good old King Cheetah. Let's see if you can figure out what the difference is. Anybody? I'll give you a couple seconds here. On the Multiverse card, King Cheetah is not capitalized, but on the Visions card, it is. So this one's going to be a lot rarer than this one. It doesn't make it worth a ton more, but if you're building sets and you want to get in there and you want to actually build up this multiverse, this oddball multiverse set, this is your King Cheetah right there. And last one I have here is your Bull Elephant. There we go. Bull Elephant. I'll give you a couple seconds here. See if you can figure it out. It's different than the other 2, I can tell you that much. This is going to go into the text again here. It says, 4 gray trees and a long coiling snake, period. What am I? This one is your Multiverse box set. 4 gray trees and a long, coiling snake, period. This one's your regular Visions. Subtle little things like that, making the difference between, I don't know, a quarter and a dollar. So if you are like me and you do buy, I do buy a lot of these bulk lots, and you know, collections from around town and things like that. I'm not big enough to be out there buying all this humongous stuff, but I do like to buy up a lot of people's bulk and break it down and see and make my money back that way. I'll take out the good uncommons and whatever rares I can and build up a few things. This is the kind of thing that you're going to run into. This is a $1 card. This is a 5-cent card. So knowing what you're looking at is going to make a world of difference. So that's all I have for today. I hope everyone found this educating, because that's what I wanted to do with this video. If you do like, please subscribe. I'm going to try to do videos weekly. Grant is going to be here. He is going to be my box opener. He's going to rip for me. We're going to have some Theros pretty soon, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, you guys all learned something today. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. You guys have a great day. Bye now.